Hello, dear calculus students. And today we are going to learn another technique of integration, and that is integration by trigonometric substitution or integration by Trigo substitution. Okay, so far we have learned integration by algebraic substitution, and the other one is integration by parts. Now this time we are going to learn integration by trigonometric substitution. Sabi nga dito sa meme, I think today is a good day to teach trigonometric ratios. Okay, so what about that? So, kailangan muna natin i-recall yung mga trigonometric identities that we learned last time. So, ano nga ba yung mga important trigonometric identities natin? So, this one, sine squared plus cosine squared theta equals 1. Tangent squared theta plus 1 equals secant squared theta. Secant squared theta minus 1, if we are to manipulate this, secant squared theta minus 1, if we move the 1 to the other side, that will leave us with tangent squared theta. Okay. And of course, we know that tangent theta is equal to sine theta over cosine theta. Also, we know that secant theta is the reciprocal of cosine theta. So that's 1 over cosine theta. We also know that cotangent theta can be expressed as cosine theta over sine theta. And cosecant theta is the reciprocal of sine theta. That's why we have this relationship. Also, we have this double angle identity. Sine 2 theta is equal to 2 sine theta cosine theta. And of course, if we have tangent theta over secant theta, diba, since tangent theta is equal to this ratio, secant theta is equal to this ratio. So if we are to divide this, the cosine theta will cancel out, leaving us with sine theta. So tangent theta over secant theta equals sine theta. Yeah, you can take a screenshot of this. You can pause this video on this slide and take a screenshot of this so you can save this in your gallery or in your phone. All right. Another thing, syempre, yung mga differentiation natin. So, derivative of sine x is cosine x, derivative ng cosine is negative sine, derivative ng tangent is secant squared x, derivative of secant is secant. So, secant x, tangent x. Of course, we also have to remember the formulas for our integral. So, yung mga integral ng mga trigonometric functions. So, like integral of sine is negative cosine, integral of cosine is positive sine, and so on and so forth. Okay. Aside from this, we also have to know that sine squared can be expressed, diba, as using the half angle identity that can be expressed as 1/2 times the quantity 1 minus cosine 2x. Okay. Parang it's like 1 minus cosine 2x all over 2. Okay. Tapos, yung cosine squared x naman, we just have to replace this minus with the plus. So that's 1/2 times the quantity 1 plus cosine of 2x. Okay, again, you can pause this video on this slide and take a screenshot of this so you can save this in your gallery or in your phone. Okay, so ayun po, very important po yung mga formulas po na yan. Kailangan po natin yan sa pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay. Okay, so ayan. So since we are to make use of trigonometric substitution, we will let our variable x, so let me get my laser pointer. We will let our variable x equal to a sine theta. If that's the case, if we are to differentiate this one, yan, or if we are to manipulate this one algebraically, so if we are to leave here the sine theta, that means dividing both sides by a, we have x over a equal to sine theta. Okay. Also, that means if we are to apply the inverse function of this one, which is the arc sine, theta is equal to arc sine of this fraction x over a. Yan. Whereas if we let our x equal to the expression a tan theta, yan, if we are to obtain an expression for tangent theta, again, we can divide both sides by a. So that will give us x over a equal to tangent theta. And of course, applying the arctan function on both sides, theta will be equal to arctan of x over a. Ayan. Tapos, if we are to let x be equal to a secant theta naman. Yan. So, secant theta naman yung kailangan natin i-isolate. Again, dividing both sides by a. Secant theta is equal to x over a. Parang pare-parehas po sila. Depende kung anong variable, ano yung inassign mo na expression for your variable. Okay? So, that means here, anong i-apply natin na inverse trigo function in this case? Yan. If you say arc secant, you are correct. So, theta is arc secant of this fraction x over a. Yan. Magiging tanong natin, ma'am, paano natin malalaman if our x is equal to a sine theta, a tan theta, or a secant theta? And we will find out on our succeeding slides. Meanwhile, you can take a screenshot of this. Yan, so ito yung nangyayari na situation. So that means, depende kung ano yung nilet mo na expression for our x, depende doon kung ano yung magiging expression natin for our theta. Alright. So, when do we use Trigo substitution? So, ginagamit natin yung Trigo substitution if we encounter these expressions, mga radicals, tapos meron tayong ganitong form, okay? So, if it's of the form a squared minus x squared, where a squared is a real number, not necessarily a perfect square. So, if that will be the case, yung a natin will be irrational kung hindi perfect square tong number na to. Si a squared equals 5, that means our a is square root of 5. Now, if a squared happen to be equal to 9, that means our a is rational, which is 3. Yun. So, if it's of this form, we let our x be equal to a sine theta. Now, if this is of this form, note that this is commutative. Yan, kasi addition is commutative, we'll let x be equal to a tan theta. If we have this expression in our integral, we can let our x be equal to a secant theta. Now, why did we choose this ones? Kasi tingnan nyo ang mangyayari pagka ginanito natin yung x natin. Di ba ang mangyayari dyan? By the way, our dx will be differentiating both sides of this expression. Derivative of this is dx. Siyempre, our variable here is theta. That's why automatically we will have d theta on the right side. Now, if we are to differentiate this, katulad ng review natin doon sa isang slide, differentiating that, we take out this constant and then differentiate the rest. So, derivative ng sine theta is cosine theta. So, we have a constant nilabas, derivative ng sine theta, cosine theta. So, we have a dx and d theta on each side of our equation. We will have the same thing here. Meron din tayong dx, d theta on left and right side respectively. So, dx dito sa left side. Whereas, differentiating the tangent, that will be secant squared. So again, labas si constant, that will be a, multiplied by the derivative of the tan theta, which is secant squared theta. Okay? Ayun po. So we have dx equal to a secant squared theta, d theta. Okay? For this one naman, what we'll have is dx equal to, medyo mahaba po ito kasi derivative ng secant. So nilabas yung a, tapos differentiate the rest of the expression. So derivative ng secant theta is secant theta, tan theta. And of course, we have the d theta consistently on the right side. Okay. Now, why did we choose this ones? No? So anong mangyayari dyan pagka nag-substitute tayo ng x equal to a sine theta? Why did we choose this particularly for an integral having this form? Okay? So ang mangyayari po kasi, let me get my pen. If we are to substitute, kaya trigonometric substitution, if we are to substitute this expression to our x here, what we will have is square root of a squared minus, if we are to square this, diba? So it's like squaring both sides of this expression. So if we are to square this product, that will be a squared sine squared theta. Okay. Tapos, notice that we can factor the a squared inside the radical. So, we have a squared times the quantity. What will be the other factor? 1 minus sine squared theta. Notice that this is familiar to us from our Pythagorean identity. What is this again? If you answered cosine squared theta, you are correct. So, that will be a squared cosine squared theta. Kung kailangan nyo pang mag-isip further ng mga tanong dun sa mga sagot dun sa question that pops out in this presentation, you can pause the video to think about it. Okay? So this is a perfect square. Both of the factors are perfect squares. So we can extract the square root and that will be a cosine theta. So that means if we let x be equal to a sine theta, ayan, that means our, di ba, sabi nga dito, yan, that will be a cosine theta. Okay? Again, it came from this one. Ito yun na-obtain natin. A cosine theta. Ito yung radical na to eh, this one eh. We just manipulated it algebraically. Tapos meron tayong trigonometric substitution dun sa ating variable x. Okay? That's why using this steps, yan, coming from the Pythagorean identity that we had, ayan yung basic Pythagorean natin, diba? Sine squared plus cosine squared theta equals 1. That's why we have this expression. Yan. Since sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. That's why yung ating 1 minus sine squared is equal to cosine squared theta. That's why we got this factor. Okay? Yan. Paano nakuha yan to? We extracted the square root of this product. Okay? So lumalabas, if we let our x be equal to a sine theta, ayan, using the first identity, the basic Pythagorean identity, this expression, the radical becomes a cosine theta. Okay? Ayun. What about when we have our x equal to a tan theta? So we do the same thing, no? If we are to substitute the x here, yan, so we have a squared. What is our x squared? So squaring both sides of this, what we have is a squared, tangent squared theta. Ayan. So again, we can factor out the a squared. That's a common factor inside the radical. And sana po nakakasunod. If you find it difficult to follow, you can always pause our video. Okay? So that's 1 plus tangent squared theta. So ano yung 1 plus tangent squared theta? Using this Pythagorean identity, that will be equal to secant squared theta. So ibig sabihin, this binomial is just equal to secant squared theta. So we have a squared secant squared theta. Again, this is a perfect square. Both factors are perfect squares. So that will become a secant theta. So ano yung naging a secant theta? Yung radical na given. Okay? Tapos what about this one? If we let our x be equal to a secant theta, yung x natin is on the first term. It's part of the mean one. Okay? So if we are to square this, square natin both sides of the equation. So if we are to substitute it here, this will become a squared secant squared theta minus a squared. Again, we can factor out the a squared. Tapos matitira is secant squared minus what? Minus 1. Okay. Ayun. Ba, you understood cofactor of this is 1. Tapos, di ba, nilabas natin kasi si a squared. So what is secant squared theta minus 1? According to this identity, it's equal to tangent squared theta. So this will become a squared. Tangent squared theta. Again, this is a perfect square. And that becomes your what? A tangent theta. Okay, that's why we have it here. A tangent theta. Alright, so ayun po. Tingnan. You can take a screenshot again of this one para po sa mga next na examples natin, you can make use of this one. Okay? Ayan, kakailanganin po natin yan sa mga examples po natin. Okay, let's take a look at this one for our illustrative example. Let's prove the formula below. We are familiar with this formula, di ba? Alam natin, this integral is equal to arctan of x. Tapos, syempre, we have the constant of integration plus c. Okay, so paano naging ganon? Yan, so we recall that yung ating 1 plus x squared, teka, paano yan? Wala tong radical, diba? So, yung 1 plus x squared, we can treat that as 1 plus x squared na naka-radical, tapos naka-square. Kasi wala siyang radical. Yung mga formulas natin, may radical, diba? So, ang plus natin, ibig sabihin yung x will let that be equal to a tan theta. So, yung a squared natin, yung kasama ni x squared is this one. So, siya yung automatically ang a squared. That means our a equals 1. Square root of a squared, diba? Equals a. Square root of 1 is 1. So, that means our x, sabi sa atin, it's a tan theta. So, it's 1 times tan theta. We let x be equal to, so pwedeng lagay yung word na let. This is equal to, pwede sabihin na lang natin tan theta kasi 1 times tangent theta. Let's simplify that. If we are to differentiate both sides of the expression, we have a dx here and a d theta on the other side, and the derivative of tan is, what's that? Secant squared theta. Okay. Tapos sabi natin, if we have this representation for our x, that means this radical, yung square root ng 1 plus x squared, diba? Yung mga radicals natin, the one you took a picture of dun sa previous slide, this will become 1 plus tangent squared theta, which is secant squared theta. So it's square root ng secant squared. That will just be secant theta or 1 secant theta. Ito walang d theta kasi we're just dealing with the radical. What will happen to the radical in terms of the trigonometric functions? Okay, ayun po kung sakaling hinahanap, ayun, di ba? If we are dealing with this one, ito yung ating magiging story for the radical. Where RA in the illustrative example is equal to 1. Yun. Again, you can always pause this video if you have some confusions. Okay. So, ayun, bakit siya naging ganito? Bakit ini-square? Kasi wala namang radical dito eh. So, in-apply natin yung, ini-square natin siya, pero ini-square root natin. Parang equal. We're not supposed to change kasi what's the given. Okay? So, ayun, bali ang integral, which is equal to 1 over the square root of 1 plus x squared. That is being squared. Tapos may dx tayo sa taas. We're trying to prove the formula, correct? So that is equal to, the dx is this one. So that is secant squared theta, d theta. Whereas yung denominator natin, di ba yung radical is secant theta, pero naka-square. This one is secant theta. But we are squaring that. So kaya secant squared theta din. This will cancel out. So that means, what is the integral of this? It's like integral of 1, diba? 1 d theta. So this is now a constant. We can just attach the variable in the differential. That will just be theta plus the constant of integration. Okay. Now what is our theta? Remember, our theta is what? It's coming from this one. Kasi alam natin x is equal to tangent theta. We can make use of this expression. Since x is equal to tangent theta, remember our answer should be in terms of x. We should apply the inverse. We are to isolate this one. We are trying to obtain the expression for theta. So dapat ito yung naka-isolate. So that means we have to apply the inverse trigo function or the inverse function of this tangent. So which is, what's the inverse of tangent? Arctan. So applying the arctan on both sides, we have this one, arctan of x. Tapos we have arctan of tan theta. So this will cancel out. Yan. So that means arc theta is just equal to arctan of x. That's why if we are to substitute it here, in theta, it's arctan of x plus the constant of integration c. So ayun po, that's why we obtain this formula. Okay? Dun sa ginawa natin before, itinreat lang natin kasi as this one as what? Yung derivative niya is this expression eh. Yan. So, ginamit lang natin yung reverse ng derivative. This time, we prove the formula for this integral using integration by Trigo substitution. Alright, let's go now to our example 1. Ayan. This time, we are raising this radical to the third power. We can identify this as our a squared. A squared equals 9. So, that means our a equals 3. Ayan. So, since this is a plus, yung laging coefficient natin, tapos plus is similar to letter t, trigo function na t is the tangent theta. Pwede na natin isunod yung dx d theta. F of tan is secant squared theta. Okay, so from here naman, pwede nating isunod yung expression natin na isa sa mga slides natin. Yung may title na first things first. So this one, pare-pareng mga 3 to. Kaya this is very important. You have to be very careful in finding your A. Okay? So this will become 9 tangent squared theta and eventually this will become 3 secant theta. Dun sa formula natin, this is A secant theta but RA is particularly 3. Okay. So ayan. Tapos, pwede na tayong bumalik using the Trigo substitution. Let me just change my pen. Yan, this will become, ano daw yung dx? Sabi dito, it's secant squared theta d theta. Tapos, sa baba naman, we are raising this radical to the third power. So, raising this to secant cube theta. Okay, so this will cancel out. We have a 9. Okay, this will cancel out, but that leaves us with the secant theta. So, meron tayong 1/9 na constant. Tapos, we have 1 over secant theta d theta. We know we don't have a formula for 1 over secant. So, what is 1 over secant? What Trigo function is that? It's now integrable. Ayan, so identities natin, no? Reciprocal sila di ba? So, anong integral ng cosine? Sine theta plus c. Are we done? And if you answer yes, medyo kulang pa, no? So, we're not yet done. Yan. Sabi natin, sine theta, obtain natin sa mga identities, I ask you to take a picture of, remember, tangent theta over secant theta is sine theta. Diba? Yung magka-cancel yung cosine yan no? So, that is sine theta. Bakit? Kasi kailangan natin, this is the one that's given, wala namang theta dito. So, our answer should also be in terms of x. Okay? So, ayun, sine theta po siya. So, saan natin kukunin si tangent theta from here? We can divide both sides by 3. This numerator is x over 3. Alright? Tapos dito naman, saan natin kukunin si secant theta? That will be coming from the radical over 3. So, that will be square root of x squared plus 9 over 3. You notice, magka-cancel si over 3. So, our sine theta is just the x over square root of x squared plus 9. Okay? So, going back to here, this will become 1/9 multiplied by the quantity x 9. So, very important. Sorry, what happened there? So, x squared plus 9. Let me just erase it neatly. And then we have a plus c. There you go. Yan. I also have here an animated version of this solution. So, if you go about our PowerPoint presentation, ito po yung ginamit natin. We made use of the second one, the second part of the second integral, di ba? Or the radical that's given of the form a squared plus x squared. Okay, so ito yung animated version niya. Again, making use of that one, it's of this form. That's why our a squared, identifying that, it's equal to 9, giving us an a equal to 3. Very important yung role ng a. It becomes the coefficient of your tangent. So, we have 3 tan theta. Our radical becomes 3 secant theta. Differentiating both sides of this expression, we have a dx on the left side and then 3 secant squared theta d theta on the right side. Okay, so if we are to replace our expression, our integral using the Trigo substitution, this would be 3 secant squared theta d theta, making use of the dx thing, dx part. Tapos this one, making use of this, but we have to raise that to the third power. It will be like this one. Okay. Sorry, hindi lang na-shoot mabuti. So that's 27. Again, this will cancel out. So we have a 9 there. This will cancel out. So secant theta is left on the denominator. So that leaves us with this one. Pwede natin ilabas si 1/9. And again, 1 over secant theta is cosine theta. That's why we have this as our partial answer or temporary answer. But then we remember tan theta over secant theta is sine theta. So using this and this one, that leaves us with this answer. Same as the one we obtained a while ago. Okay. Again, if you find something confusing or if you still want to ponder on the formula or solution, you can always pause this video. Okay? Or you can rewind if you need something to recall or remember. So that's our final answer for example 1. Now let's take a look at example 2. Which of these are we going to use given the presence of this radical on the numerator? Yan. So ano kaya dito sa tatlong to ang gagamitin natin? If you answered it's the third one, you are correct. Ayan, nasan yung third one? Ay, sige, balikan muna natin yung animated version. This is the raw solution. So we can make use of this one. Kasi andun yung x squared minus 36. So we have identified this as our a squared. Ito yung a squared. That means our a is 6. This template, our x is 6. Ano daw? 6 secant theta. And so our dx is theta tan theta d theta. Tapos yung atin namang radical, the radical x squared minus 36 will eventually become 6 tan theta. Ayun. So, paano na ngayon ang mangyayari? By integration using Trigo substitution, this will become, yung radical natin, sabi, is this one. So, that's 6 tan theta. Ayun. So, that's the radical part. Tapos, yung dx part, yan, is equal to this long thing. So, we have a 6 secant theta tan theta d theta. And, of course, the denominator is this one. But we have to square the x. Kaya that will become 36 secant squared theta. Correct? Kasi x squared yung given. Ano yung magka-cancel? The 6 times 6 is 36. Wala nang constant. Secant will cancel out with 1 second here. Okay? So, ang natira sa taas, tan theta, secant theta. Tapos we have a tan theta there. Okay? So, paano kaya ang magiging istorya nito? So, tangent squared theta yung nasa taas. So, gawin natin siyang tangent theta times tangent theta. So, that becomes tangent squared theta. Tapos sa baba, we still have a secant theta left. No? Sorry, that should be an S. Okay, so anong mangyayari sa tangent squared theta using our identity? That will be what? Secant squared theta minus 1. Okay? So, pwede natin sabihin secant squared theta minus 1. Why are we writing it like that? Kasi, para magamit natin yung ma-divide natin each part by secant theta. Ayan. So, pwede natin sabihin, ayun, you can split this into 2. Ayan. Correct? Ayan, so that will give us integral of secant theta. That's coming from secant squared over secant. Tapos what is 1 over secant theta again? What's 1 over secant theta? Starting with letter C, that will be cosine theta. D theta. Ayun. Yan. So, yung ating formula for secant theta, paano na yan? Secant theta, paano natin siya ma-obtain? Yan. Actually, pwede tayong gumamit ng manipulation dun sa secant theta. So, kasi we don't have a problem with the integral of cosine, no? Pero yung integral ng secant, we don't have a formula for that yet. Yan. So, kung sakali na-encounter nyo na ito sa mga previous na exercises, that's very good. And if you still remember the formula, why not? Pero if you have forgotten what's this, or if you are to recall paano ginagawa yung integral ng secant theta, gagawin natin is we multiply both of the numerator and denominator. And there's two denominator of this, by the way, is 1. Okay? So, ano kaya yung expression na pwede nating ilagay sa baba such that yung kanyang derivative is equal to the one above, no? Paano kaya yun? That will be what? Pwede natin gamitin. Integral ng secant theta is, kasi pwede natin sabihin, that is equal to 1 over cosine. Kaya lang, paano natin yun mai-integrate yung 1 over cosine? Like this? Some of you might be thinking like this. Yan. Hindi natin mai-integrate yun kasi cosine theta to the negative 1. If we let u be equal to cosine theta, yung du natin, we will be needing a sine function for that. So, wala tayong presence of sine eh. So, that will be a problem for us, no? So, paano kaya siya? Yan. So, pwede natin i-pause yung video para para mag-isip muna kung paano natin siya gagawin. So, ano kaya yung ating magiging integral for secant theta? D theta. So, this one won't work. what will work for the integral of secant theta? Is it okay if we multiply both sides, both numerator and denominator by tangent theta? Kaya lang if we do that, tangent theta yung u natin, derivative of that is secant squared theta. What about if we multiply both numerator and denominator by secant theta? So secant theta, hindi na naman, ano? So that will be a problem for us. Actually, this is a bit trickier. The integral of secant theta is a bit trickier. What we will do is multiply the numerator and denominator by secant theta plus tangent theta. So that will become secant theta. Tapos meron tayong secant theta plus tangent theta here. And we do the same thing on the denominator. So secant theta plus tangent theta. Of course, we still have the d theta. Why are we doing that? Kasi if we let this denominator be equal to our u, let that be equal to u, the du will be equal to what? Derivative of this is sec tan, so sec theta, tan theta. Derivative of tangent is secant squared. And of course, we are to multiply this by d theta. We have a d theta on the right side. And notice that this expression is equal to that secant squared theta. Now, this is sec tan, secant theta, tan theta. So that means the du part is just equal to the entire numerator. So, magiging lang siyang du over u. Ayan. Or u to the negative 1 times du, which is equal to ln of the u. But the u is equal to this sum, no? Ito yung expression natin for the u. So that will become ln of secant plus tangent. So ito pala yung formula ng integral ng secant. Ayan, ln of secant plus tangent. That's why I presented this in one of the first slides of this presentation para supposedly given na siya sa memory natin. Okay? So ayun, we have a formula for this one already. So that will be ln of sec plus tan. So secant theta plus tangent. Actually, ang cute, ano? Kasi ang derivative ng secant, sec tan, the product. Pero ang integral ng secant, ln of secant plus tan. Okay? Minus, di ba? If we are to apply the integral of this, it's this one. Minus the integral of the second term. That will be sine theta plus c. Yun, that's it. That's our answer for the given integral. Ay, hindi pa pala, no? Kasi we have to go back to the original variable x. So, sobrang excite ako. So, that will be ln. Secant theta, take note, is x over 6. This is the second, so it's x over 6. Eh, over 6 naman to pareho. Kaya, tapos yung tangent theta natin coming from this, isolating this part, it's the radical over 6. So, square root of x squared minus 36. Ayun. Tapos yung sine theta natin, again, that is tangent over secant. So, tangent over lang yung mga 6 nila. So, tangent over secant. Okay. So, minus the radical x squared minus 36 over x plus c. Ayun. Ito na talaga yung final answer. Okay. So, this is the animated version of this problem. Ito yung ginamit natin. Tapos, ito yung identified a squared and then the a becomes 6. Alright. So, our x is this one using this formula, using that Trigo substitution. The radical becomes 6 tan theta. Yan, para magkaano sila, no? Magkasalisi. Tapos dx is the derivative, 6 secant theta tan theta d theta. Substitute natin. Okay. Tapos, ayun. Okay. Tapos, ano daw yung x squared? If we are to square both sides of this expression, that will be 36 secant squared theta. Ka-cancel yung 6 times 6 and 36. The secant will cancel. So, we are left with tan squared over secant. Ayun po. Using that identity, we have secant squared theta minus 1 all over secant theta, which leaves us with this and this one. Since 1 over secant theta is cosine, ayun po. Yan, they are reciprocals eh. D theta. Okay? Tapos, meron tayo nito. Ayan, we can make use of this formula and this formula. So, it leaves us with this one. Since we have x equal to 6 secant theta and this equal to 6 tan theta, we can make use of the, ayan, secant theta will be x over 6. This is the radical over 6. Sin theta is, again, that will be the radical over x plus c. So that's it. That's our final answer. Yung ginawa lang natin kanina, kinumbay natin tong similar fractions. Okay, so for our example 3, let's take a look at this one. Sino kaya yung gagamitin natin dito sa mga ito? Which of these three formulas are we going to use? Alam natin, magti-trigo substitution tayo kasi there's a presence of the radical. May mga presence ng square root. Yan. So, paano yung gagawin natin? We can, sorry. Gawin ko muna yung, yung hindi animated na version. Okay? So, ang gagamitin natin, if you answer the first integral, you are correct. We are to make use of this one. So, identify nga natin what is our a squared. Our a squared is 4. Okay? So, our a squared equals 4. That means the a equals 2. Okay. Tapos, anong gagawin natin? Pagka ganon, we have what? Our x is, ayan, puntahan na natin yung x. 2. Actually, x, the dx, and the radical, yung 4 minus x squared, pare-pareho itong may 2. Pare-pareho siyang may a eh. Ayan. So, ito ay 2, according to this one, 2 sine theta. So, sine theta. And if that's the case, the radical becomes 2 cosine theta. Di na natin yung i-derive, although pwede nyo namang i-derive kung nakakalimutan nyo, di ba? If that is our x, this will be 4 sine squared theta. So, if lalabas mo yung 4, tapos 1 minus sine squared, cosine squared, so, yun, 4 cosine squared, square root is 2 cosine theta. Tapos, if you differentiate both sides of this, that was 2 cosine theta d theta. You can always go back to the previous slides, yung pinapicturan ko sa inyo para balikan kung paano natin nakuha itong mga to. Okay? So, ayun. Using our Trigo substitution, the dx is what? Using this, that's 2 cosine theta d theta. So, that will be 3. Labas na natin yung 3. Tapos, 2 cosine theta d theta. Okay na tayo kay dx. Now, for the x, ito naman siya. The x is 2 cosine theta. 2 sine theta. Okay na tayo kay x. Now, what about the radical? It's this one, 2 cosine theta. Puro mga ano na to. Wala. Pag nag-d theta tayo, notice wala tayong variable na x dapat sa integral natin. Trigo substitution. So, mga trigo identity, trigo functions. 2 cosine. So, the 2 cosine theta will cancel out. So, d theta tapos 2 sine theta. So, 3 halves yung ating constant. Tapos yung 1 over sine theta, it's actually cosecant theta. D theta. So, there's actually a formula for this. Kung medyo attentive tayo doon sa mga pinapicturan ko sa inyo na integral. But if you want to derive the expression for this integral, parang yung sa second lang to, kaya lang gagawin nating trick dito is we multiply, understood denominator by the way is 1, we multiply numerator and denominator by cosecant minus cotangent. Okay. So, this will become cosecant theta. And then we have cosecant theta minus cotangent theta. Tapos, syempre, we have to rewrite the cosecant theta minus cotangent theta. D theta. Why do we have that? Kasi, pag nilet u natin, let's have it here. Pag nilet u natin to, take a look at this one. Cosecant theta minus cotangent theta. O ano ba yung ating formula for the du of this? Derivative of cosecant is negative cosecant cotangent. Tapos, what about the formula for this one? Supposedly negative cosecant squared, pero since we have a minus, minus negative, that will be plus cosecant squared theta. And of course, may d theta tayo dapat sa right side. O diba, yung cosecant squared na positive is this one. Tapos yung negative cosecant cotangent, it's that one. Okay? So that's why this will just be equal to the entire numerator is du. Du lang pala siya, no? Because it's justified by these steps. Tapos yung denominator natin equal daw sa u using that representation. So what's du over u? Integral of that is just ln of u, which is ln of cosecant minus cotangent. Sorry, theta na pala to. Cosecant theta minus cotangent theta plus. Okay, so that's it. That's a formula that we have just derived for the integral of cosecant. So 3/2 tapos ln cosecant theta minus cotangent theta. Ano itong cosecant natin, di ba? It's the reciprocal of sine. So we know here that x over 2 is sine theta. Alam natin, x over 2 is sine theta. So yung reciprocal ng sine is cosecant, which is now 2 over x. Okay, tapos yung cotangent, alam naman natin, this is cosine over sine. So pwede natin sabihin 2 cosine theta over 2 sine theta. This will be equal to our cotangent theta. Ano ba yung cosine theta? Diba it's this radical. Tapos, yung atin namang sine theta, it's just equal, yung 2 sine theta is equal to x. Okay? So, si cosecant, tsaka si cotangent, parehong may denominator na x. So, diba, plus ito, sorry. So, that's 3/2 ln of, ayan, that's 2, kasi pareho namang over x si cosecant, tsaka si cotangent. Tapos, minus, the 2 came from here. Yan. Yung sa cosecant natin is 2 over x. Yung yun. Tapos cotangent natin is this fraction. So that's the radical 4 minus x squared also over x plus c. That's it. This is our final answer in terms of the original variable that's given. Ayun, so ito yung animated version ng ating solution. Take a look at this one. Ito yung ginamit. That's our a squared. A is 2. Our x is 2 sine theta. Our radical becomes 2 cosine theta. Tapos ang dx natin, 2 cos theta d theta. Ayun yung x. The radical is 2 cosine theta. This will cancel out. Tapos nilabas yung 3/2. We're left with 1 over sine theta. Or that means this is just equal to cosecant theta. So, ano ba yung integral niyan using this formula? Ayan. So, it pays to know our formulas. Alright, so since alam po natin na cotangent is cosine over sine, cosecant is 1 over sine, based on our representations a while ago, ayan, this will become 2 over x kasi our sine theta is x over 2. Tapos, dividing this, yan yung cotangent natin. Pero syempre, ito yung dapat na nasa numerator. That will be square root of 4 minus x squared over x. Ang ginawa lang natin, we combine these fractions because they are similar fractions. Okay, so that becomes our final answer. Okay, now let's take a look at our example 4. Again, if you need to still absorb the example, the solution, you can always pause this video. Okay, so tingnan po natin alin kaya dito yung gagamitin natin. Ayan. Ang gagamitin po ay, if you answered the first one, you are correct. Ayan, sorry, balik natin. Ayan, so ito po yung gagamitin natin kasi yung a squared, yung plus wala tayong problema kasi it's the a tan theta. Pero yung to pag subtraction, again, ito na naman tayo sa subtraction. Subtraction starts with letter S. Ito wala tayong problema. Plus is similar to letter T. Tangent. Pag subtraction, S. Ayan. So, it's sine tsaka secant yun. Pero ito, the a squared is the second term. Kaya, secant ang gagamitin. Ito, yung a squared is not the second term. Kaya yung kabilang is sine theta siya. Okay? So, 16. This is our identified a squared. Our a, therefore, equals 4. Okay? So, ayun, doon na tayo kay x. Once you have identified your x, your a, meron ka ng magiging x natin, tapos dx, and then eventually, meron tayong ma-obtain na expression for the radical. Ayan, so the 4 here will appear on all of this. So, 4, sabi dito sa formula natin, 4 sine theta. So, 4 sine theta. Tapos ito, 4 cosine theta, d theta. Tapos yung ating radical becomes 4 cosine theta. Ito walang d theta kasi hindi tayo nag-differentiate. We just made use of trigonometric identities. Ito yung dito yung nag-differentiate tayo from this to this point. Okay? So yung radical natin, paling integral is, the radical is equal to this expression. So that's 4 cosine theta. Tapos, okay na tayo dito. Tapos, the dx part, another 4 cosine theta. Tapos, may d theta tayo. That's the difference. Dapat hindi mawala yung differential factor. We can take out this one. So, 16. Tapos, cosine squared theta. D theta. Can make use of our half angle identity. So, that will be 16. Sabi dun sa pinapicturean ko sa inyo na slide, this is equal to 1/2. Tapos, 1 plus cosine of 2 theta. That's half angle identity. So, 16 and 2 is just 8. So, meron tayong 8. That is now 8. Tapos, 1 plus cosine 2 theta d theta. If we are to perform the integration, meron tayong 8. Tapos, theta, cosine, integral ng cosine is sine. So, sine 2 theta. Kaya lang, di ba, meron pa tayong supposedly derivative ng ating angle, which is constant. So, over 2. Pag differentiation, times 2. But if it's integration, that constant derivative of our supposedly u, nilalagay natin sa baba. Okay? Review natin yung algebraic substitution natin plus the c. So again, from theta, kailangan tayong bumalik sa ating x. We know that from here, x over 4 is sine theta. So applying the arc sine on both sides, that means ang theta natin, apply natin yung arc sine on both sides. So arc sine of the fraction x over 4. Tapos, paano na yung sine 2 theta? Yung sine 2 theta naman, it's double angle identity, which we also recalled a while ago. That's 2 sine theta cosine theta. Ayan, so, ang ating sine theta is x over 4. So, that's 2 x over 4 coming from here. Tapos, ang cosine theta naman natin is this radical over 4. 16 minus x squared over 4. Cancel. So, 2 na lang to. So, that means plus, ano yung ating sine 2 theta? Will just be equal to this expression. So, x multiplied by square root of 16 minus x squared all over 8 close quantity plus c. That becomes our final answer in terms of the original variable. Alright, so let's take a look at the animated version of this solution. Ito po siya. We made use of this one. Our a squared identified is 16. That means the a is 4. Ayun po. Ayun. Tapos the dx is that one. So again, tinake out natin yung 16, cosine squared theta. Hindi po yun magiging secant squared theta. Ayan. Gamitin po natin itong half angle identity na to. It will be like that one. So 8 times 1 plus cosine 2 theta. So ayun yung naging answer natin. Gumamit tayo ng double angle identity. Yan. So, ayun po yung arc sine x over 4. Tapos, ayun yung x squared of 16 minus x squared over 16 plus the c. Diba? Parehas lang po yan nung answer natin a while ago. Po yung kaninang manual na answer natin. Ayun. Bakit tayo may over 8 dito? Kasi yung 8 natin nasa labas. Ito yung 8. Arc sine of x over 4. Tapos, ayun. Okay. So, ayun po. Now, let's take a look at our example 5. Ay, parang naiba yata to. Supposedly, this is just over 8. Sorry for that. Okay. So, tingnan po natin tong example 5. Ayan. At teka lang, ma'am, parang wala yata siyang constant. Wala siyang constant dun sa loob ng radical. So, that means kailangan nating i-manipulate yung ating radical in such a way kasi remember the algebraic substitution won't work here. Pati yung integration by parts hindi rin mag-work. So, since may presence ng radical, it's any of this ang gagamitin po natin. Pero wala tayong a squared. Paano yan? Wala tayong constant na nakikita dito. Okay? So, that means magko-completing the square tayo. So, this is almost a perfect square. Kailangan na lang niya ng, para maging perfect trinomial, kailangan niya ng plus 1. But if we do that, kailangan mag-minus din tayo of the same number that we added para it's like we're just adding 0. Now, this part is equal to x plus 1 quantity square. So, it will be equal now to dx square root of x plus 1, the quantity squared, minus 1. Ayan. So, bali lalabas po nito, meron tayong u. Ayan, ang u natin is the x plus 1. Pero ito pa rin yung magiging identified natin na a squared. Ayan. So, meron kang parang lumalabas. If that is your u, your expression is u equal to x plus 1. The du is dx. Okay, so mag-shift tayo to another variable. Yan, magiging ano muna, parang some sort of algebraic substitution. This is du. The dx is just du. They're differentiating both sides, di ba? Tama? Tapos, sa denominator naman, that will become square root of u squared minus 1. Take note, hindi natin nagawa pa rin na integrable form. So, naiba lang yung variable. So, u squared minus 1. So, that means it's of this form. Ito yung 1. So, ang ating u, we're changing this to u. This is 1. That will be secant theta. So, let u be equal to secant theta. We're now shifting to trigonometric substitution. Our a is just 1. So, du is sectant. So, derivative, secant theta, tan theta, d theta. Tapos, ang radical natin, the square root of u squared minus 1. Do sa first things first na slide, this will become tangent theta. You can always derive how this will become tangent theta by substituting the secant theta to our u. Okay, that's secant squared minus 1. So, tangent squared yun. Square root of tangent squared is tangent theta. Alright, so ang ating du daw is this expression. So, trigo substitution, kaya nagsasubstitute tayo ng trigo functions. Makulit, pero yun po yung essence ng ating lesson for today. Tapos, ano yung denominator natin? What will happen to that? It will be like this. So, tangent theta. So, ayun, magka-cancel yung tangent theta and we're left with secant theta, d theta. Na-derive na natin yung formula for this one. Sabi natin a while ago, this is ln of secant plus tan. So, secant theta plus tangent theta plus c. Tapos, yung secant theta is using this representation that is equal to u. Yan. So, supposedly, ang gagawin natin is like ln of u, kasi secant theta is u, tapos tangent theta is the radical u squared minus 1. Using this naman. Kaya lang, if we do that, hindi pa tayo bumalik dun sa original variable natin. Remember, our u is equal to x plus 1. So, this is ln of x plus 1 plus square root. Remember, this is x plus 1 quantity square minus 1, this entire radical, which is actually this thing. Ito yun eh. So, yung original variable natin, yung may x squared plus 2x plus c. So, ito yung ating final answer in terms of the original variable x. Okay, again, kung medyo nako-confuse, nalilito, kailangan pang i-absorb, you can always pause this video or rewind this video for further understanding of the lesson or deeper understanding of our lesson. This is the animated solution. Okay. The tan theta cancels out. Ayun yung ginamit natin. That's why we have this for our final answer. Yan, pinwede natin palitan to as, di ba, if we expand this, that's x squared plus 2x plus 1. The 1 minus 1 will just cancel. So it's just square root of x squared plus 2x, the original radical given. Okay? So ayun, that's our final answer for example 5. Okay, now let's take a look at this example from PC7 by Lighthold. And you can pause this video if you want to first try this on your own. Yan, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Yan. Okay, so we will resume this video. Try nyo muna sagutan. I'll see you on our next video for the solutions of these examples. Goodbye. Happy integration.